First place, why I'm making this point. We went to elections as a party, the last elections, and nobody does not know that we were robbed votes. Now, thina ngeke sayisho lento ngoba singamakhehla. Nina ntshani thuleleni.
The former president, Jacob Zuma, has once again stirred controversy, accusing the Independent Electoral Commission, IEC, along with the African National Congress and Democratic Alliance, of robbing MK Party of their votes in the 2024 general elections. Speaking on Youth Day, 16 June 2025, Zuma invoked the memory of the historic 1976 Soweto uprising, urging young people to channel the spirit of those who stood up to apartheid by taking to the streets and demanding justice for what he described as a stolen election. In his address, Zuma sharply criticized the youth for what he sees as inaction in the face of electoral injustice. He said, "Why are you silent about your stolen votes?" Drawing a provocative parallel between the brutal crackdown on protesting students in 1976 and the alleged manipulation of election outcomes in 2024, and said Umkhonto we Sizwe Party should be governing this country, calling on young people to be brave enough to fight back. His comments came on the anniversary of the Soweto uprising, a student-led protest that erupted on June 16, 1976 in response to the apartheid government's policy of enforcing Afrikaans as a medium of instruction in black schools. What began as a peaceful march turned into a tragic bloodbath as police opened fire on students, killing dozens, among them 13-year-old Hector Peterson, whose image became a global symbol of resistance. While Zuma sought to link the spirit of 1976 with the Umkhonto we Sizwe Party's contemporary struggles, critics argue that his rhetoric dangerously incites unrest and weaponizes a painful historical moment for political gain. Zuma's comments come after the Umkhonto we Sizwe Party made a surprising legal reversal. The party withdrew its electoral court application that sought to invalidate the 2024 election results, a case rooted in allegations of widespread irregularities and voter fraud. Although the Umkhonto we Sizwe Party had previously expressed confidence in its legal challenge, the reason for withdrawal remained murky. Party insiders suggest that the move followed legal advice and internal strategic considerations as the party shifts its focus towards strengthening internal cohesion ahead of the future electoral contest. In an official statement, the Umkhonto we Sizwe Party reiterated its commitment to electoral integrity and said, "While we have withdrawn this application, we are not abandoning the fight. We will continue to hold the IEC accountable and explore all avenues to safeguard democracy." Amid these broader political developments, tensions within the Umkhonto we Sizwe Party continues to escalate following the controversial demotion of former Secretary General Fred Shibambu.
You'll realize that if we have one of us, ophumeceleni, uyathandwa.
Zuma publicly rebuked Shibambu and dismissed any notion of reinstating him and said, "We are not going to back anyone." Zuma said this during his Youth Day address and said this party has had 7 secretary generals. No one is bigger than the Umkhonto we Sizwe Party. He also assured a stern warning to those within the party allegedly mobilizing for Shibambu's reinstatement, making it clear that only the party's high command has the authority to appoint or dismiss members. Shibambu's demotion came in the wake of an unauthorized trip to Malawi to meet self-proclaimed Prophet Shifat Bushiri, a fugitive facing extradition to South Africa. The party leadership said his actions violated the Umkhonto we Sizwe Party's constitution, specifically clauses prohibiting internal engagements not sanctioned by leadership. The national chairperson, Nkosinathi Nhleko, said the trip was not part of an official program. It undermined the values and image of the Umkhonto we Sizwe Party. He added that the party's national leadership had no choice but to act. Initially, the party announced that Shibambu will be redeployed to parliament. However, confusion ensued when it later emerged that his name was excluded from the party's parliamentary list. This, followed by a leaked suspension letter on social media, painted a picture of internal chaos. Curiously, while Shibambu's Malawi trip was the apparent catalyst for his demotion, the official disciplinary charges made no mention of the incident. This omission has raised questions about the true motives behind his removal and the party's consistency in applying its internal rules. In the suspension letter, the formal charges of Floyd Shibambu reads as follows. Charge 1: gross dereliction of duty and negligence. Offense: refusal to issue appointment letters to the provincial detachment, regional and sub-regional structures, and failure to respond to official communication from the provincial convener since 25 January 2025. Relevant clause 4.8, undermining legitimate leadership structures. Any member who undermines decisions or leadership of duly constituted structures of the party shall be guilty of a disciplinary offense. Implication: the Secretary General willfully paralyzed the administrative function of the provincial detachment, disregarding the constitutional principle of the democratic centralism and operational discipline. Charge 2: abuse of office and imposition of parallel structures. Offense: imposed a task team on the duty-appointed provincial convener. Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane, without consultation or authority from the National High Command, persistently interfered with her constitutional authority. Relevant clause 4.7, promoting division in the party. Any member who sows division or acts to undermine cohesion with the party shall be subject to disciplinary action. Implication: the Secretary General acted outside his powers to destabilize a legitimate structure, a serious violation of both organizational discipline and unity. Charge 3: unauthorized disclose of confidential information. Dismissible offense. Offense: leaked confidential internal communication recommending disciplinary action, and policy reference it at the funeral of Commander Treasure Tabete, a comrade he had unilaterally imposed on the provincial convener. Relevant clause 4.5, unauthorized disclosure of party information. Disclosure of confidential party information to unauthorized persons or structures constitutes a dismissible offense. Implication: the gross violation undermines the trust, security, and internal discipline of the organization and alone warrants summary dismissal. Charge 4: complicity in factional intimidation and failure to protect members. Offense: witnessed threats involving firearms against detachment members by his known allies and failed to act. Did not condemn the physical obstruction of the provincial convener from addressing Umkhonto we Sizwe party gatherings. Relevant clause 4.10, duty to protect party unity and members. Members must actively uphold the unity, safety, and integrity of all party structures and personnel. Implication: his silence and inaction effectively endows factional violence and place comrades at risk, in violation of the core values of Umkhonto we Sizwe party. Charge 5, a failure to defend the party against court action. Offense: despite formal notice, the Secretary General failed to brief legal representatives in the case brought by Ms. Paddy, the expelled former convener. She secured an interim order restraining her and gained access to party resources now used to destabilize the organization. Relevant clause 5.1, misconduct warranting disciplinary action. Any member who by omission or commission acts to the prejudice of the party's interest may be subjected to disciplinary hearing. Implication: gross negligence that has directly compromised the legal standing and financial security of the Umkhonto we Sizwe party. Charge 6, compromised relationship with former convener, conflict of interest. Offense: pattern of conduct indicates an unethical alliance with Ms. Paddy, whose interest the SG failed despite her lawful expulsion. This includes his refusal to defend the party in court and his passive enabling of her sabotage. Clause 4.2, conduct bringing the party into disrepute. Members must avoid conduct which may embarrass or discredit the party in public internal spaces, implication a clear conflict of interest that erodes internal trust and paints the parties as disorganized, divided, and ethically compromised. Relief sought by the provincial detachment. In light of these grave offences, the provincial detachment respectfully recommends the following urgent actions: immediate suspension of Commander Fred Nikosh Bambu, pending a formal disciplinary inquiry; institution of a full disciplinary hearing in line with the provisions of Clause 6.1 of the Disciplinary Code; redeployment to a non-political, non-administrative role to prevent further interference; a formal investigation into his relationship with Ms. Padi to determine ethical breaches; public reaffirmation of authority and protection of Mpumalanga Provincial Detachment. What's your take on this one, people? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more news.